Hi. Tonight, a bit later than normal tonight, I am going to talk about why your friends and family might not necessarily provide you with the support that you need in your happy side hustle. In fact, they might be your least supportive people. And there's a whole load of reasons why that could be, and I'll talk about them shortly. I'll just give you a chance to jump on as the message has just gone out that I am live. Hello, replay people. If you're watching replay, it would be brilliant if you could just comment hashtag replay below this so that I know that you have had a chance to catch up on this. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Cassie. I watched both your live videos today. I didn't get a chance to watch them on Sunday because things were really full on for me just prepping for the boot camp, but they were both lovely. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Mariam. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. Oh, thank you all for coming along. Hi, Rennie Marie, Mary, Alicia. Oh, so lovely. Okay, so what I want to talk about, so if you haven't been along to a Happy Hustle show before, what I do is I come on every Monday and Thursday night, and I just do a 15-minute talk on a topic. So a very kind of short training or thought piece on a topic that will be relevant to your happy side hustle. I have another meeting at 8 o'clock, so I will definitely be finished by that, just so you know. But what I want to talk about tonight is support and about the fact that your friends and your family are not necessarily going to be your cheerleaders and your super supporters. And there's a whole load of reasons. They might be, but I need you to manage your expectations around that, because there's like so many reasons that I wouldn't even be able to get into tonight as to why they might not provide the support that you're looking for. So for example, you might have, let's take a friend. You might have a friend who is worried that you will lose money. So they might think, oh, well, it's not very easy to set up a business. And I've heard in my experience, in my knowledge, or I've read that a lot of people who set up businesses fail. So they might be worried that you're making a mistake, and they might want to try and save you from that by being discouraging. That could be one reason. Somebody else might think it might impact your time with them. So all of a sudden you add something else into your life. You were probably quite short of time anyway, because most people are. So they might think, oh no, if you do that thing, that means you will have less time for me. And therefore they might act out in a non-supportive way for that reason. Adults, human beings, are complex creatures. And they won't, in this context, whoever is supportive or non-supportive probably won't even realize why they are, but it will genuinely come with a positive intention, but it's not necessarily what you need in your life when you're building a side hustle. So I hear really regularly that people will say, oh, my husband just doesn't get it, or my partner doesn't get it, or, you know, my sister's really like, you know, told me that I'm not talented. Like I saw someone today making a comment about how it wasn't in the Happy Side Hustle community, it was in a different group that I'm in where I've got a coach, and someone had said to a peer in my group that they were very bad. So they were trying to set up a sort of coaching business, a little bit like what I do. And someone in their family had said to them, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you're very bad at explaining things. And I don't think I don't think you're going to help the world by you explaining stuff, because I don't think that's your talent. And she came into the group that I was in to say, oh no, I think I've made a mistake, because somebody that really is really close to me has just said this. And it just, like, I don't even know her. Well, like, I know her online, but it's not someone that I particularly know well online even. But I just felt like, that's just so sad. Like, that is just, imagine, but there'll be a reason behind that. There'll be a positive intention behind saying that. But if you aren't super confident, and if your self-esteem isn't super high, and if you're already feeling like, whoa, this is quite a big thing that I'm doing, a comment like that can be enough to make you go, right, that's it. It's a sign. I would do it, because obviously nobody would want me to, I would want me to coach them or deliver or whatever it was that she was going to do. And that's just so heartbreaking, because what that is one person's opinion generated from something that's going on with them. So there's a resilience piece here. When you make the decision that you're going to have a happy side hustle, and you decide what the goal is going to be and how you're going to get there, and you know that it's going to evolve along the way, you have to be able to just block out the unuseful, not a word, noise. So the sort of, when somebody says something like, oh, or quite often people say to me, just more of as a bit of a joke, they go, what are you doing now? Because I'm a serial entrepreneur. Like, I don't care. I honestly don't care. If someone who has worked in a steady job for the last 30 years says to me, what are you doing now? I know it's because in their map of the world and their kind of experience of reality, they're like, why is she doing that as well as doing her jewelry and her personal portraits? And what happened to the hypnotherapy thing she used to do? And what about those? Like, it's hard for them to comprehend my life and how I choose to earn money and how I choose to consciously create a happy life. And it will be the same for you. This may not have happened to you. You might have a super supportive circle of friends and family. And if you do, fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. But if you don't, it's nearly like, when you grow up and you think that everybody else has a completely normal, totally functional family, and you're in your family going, oh, this is a bit like, as you kind of grow up and you're like, oh, that person doesn't get on with that person, and there seems to be some tension here and whatever. There's generally some dynamics going on in all kind of extended families. I remember the day that I realized that for myself. I'm like, oh gosh, it's not just my family. It's pretty much all families that are like this. It's not, but when you're kind of in that bubble, you think, well, maybe it's just me. And I just feel really drawn to say this to you today. So if you have a friend or a family member or just somebody that's saying to you, oh, are you sure? Is that good enough? Or are you the right person? Whatever. Just know that it will be coming from a positive intention somewhere, like no matter how it's stated, but it's just their opinion. So it's not factual. It's not a sign. It's not something that needs to make you go, oh, okay, right, I won't do it now. Because that is the easier thing to do when something knocks your confidence like that. Let me just see what you're saying. So Hazel, my partner glazes over when I talk to him about my side hustle. Then he is surprised by getting a sale from me from his workplace. Oh, that's fantastic. I know, yeah. So sometimes you're right, Hazel. It cannot be, nearly like a stated, you shouldn't do that, but it can be like, yeah, okay, whatever. What you doing now? Like my husband is supportive. He's not supportive, but he doesn't really know what I do. Like, I'll just go, are you doing a live tonight? Or like, can we go out? Like, I'm doing a live, and I'll be like, okay, like, it's great. But if for whatever reason I need to take a couple of weeks off, he's not going to be able to step in and do this. Like, he doesn't really, he's happy I'm happy, but he doesn't really get it. He's got a proper job. Yeah, I know, Samantha, I know. But I just want you to know that isn't the first time I've heard that. And it generally is coming from some sort of maybe worry or concern, or it could be just a bit of jealousy as well, but it's very unlikely to be vindictive. And I know I'm going to say this, and it's just people say things it's nearly like, I feel I live my life a lot. So my neighbors call me Pollyanna, right? Because I'm always on the bright side. I'm always like, yeah, let's try it. It'll work. Like, it'll work. We go away and I'll go, it'll be fine. It'll be sunny. And every time we go somewhere, like, the joke is it's generally sunny. And they're like, just bring Julie, because she just brings the sun with her. So I think that it's not, so it's not all situations, it's not all context, but I live my life consciously creating happiness and assuming that I'm going to be able to make it because I've gone on the motorway of happiness. It's happiness is the journey as well as the destination, and I have decided to do that. That's quite a difficult thing for people to get their heads around. You know, when you're just not, if you're not in that world, if you're not in that context, if you haven't had the sort of, I don't know, exposure to this and the understanding that there are other people doing this, it, you know, it can just look a bit weird to people. People will be like, I remember like when I had Keepstakes and I was working, like, I think I've worked harder on my side hustles than I've ever worked in a day job. So there's not, there's not a part of me saying this is super easy, like you just sit back and sales come. It's not that. But I remember when I was working on Keepstakes and my kids were really young, and one of my friends said to me, listen, I was going to get a childminder for my my daughter, but because you don't do anything, do you want to maybe just do it and I could pay you a bit of money so you could like have some money? Like, because you literally think I'm sitting in the house all day doing nothing. I genuinely think, and it's just because what I do doesn't match their paradigm. It doesn't match their experience of the world. Anyway, the reason that I wanted to say this, okay, sorry, hold on, let me just see what Emma's saying. I sometimes get the other half saying you're working every evening just for a £5 mask. Yeah. Yeah, I know it is hard to get the balance, but it's those kind of little seeds, aren't they, that's creating something that's bigger. You know, you have to start somewhere and you have to start small and you have to start with a little bit of time. I don't think you'll regret it. Just make sure you're prioritizing all of your rocks. Make sure you're prioritizing your family and your relationships. So never at the expense of time spent on your family and relationships. Make sure you're prioritizing your health. So never, you know, not eating, not getting the right amount of sleep or whatever because you're working. But if you make it one of your priorities within that kind of trifecta, really, then it's worth it. It's worth it because it does get you. I work less hard now. I work in a different way. I'm much more structured, and I have really learned to do what gets results. So to review and do what gets results. So I work in a much more effective way now, and I can see a point in the future where I will work less and make more money. And that's ultimately what we're all heading towards. Let me see, Emma. Denise Duffield Thomas, Stillpreneur. Yeah, I love Denise. Has a great podcast that is like having your own cheerleader. Julie posted a video of hers in our first week. She says to surround yourself with cheerleaders. That doesn't have to be your family. Julie, the group, and my best friend are my cheerleaders. That's lovely, Emma, and that's so true. And Denise has just brought out a brand new podcast. Is that the one you're talking about? So I used to listen to Denise's podcast, but I saw actually, it was only about a week ago, she emailed to say there's a brand new one. I haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, I absolutely love Denise Duffield Thomas. P has to be Pinocchio. Oh yeah, Pollyanna. Yes. Yeah. You're right, Cassie. It has to be Pinocchio. There's really no... If we kept doing it and we could keep choosing a different Disney character. I've just brought Chillpreneur. Yeah, I think you'll really like it, Hazel, actually. She's so... I love the audiobook because her Australian accent's amazing as well. But yeah, she's so inspiring. Anyway, I just felt the need to come on and say that, because if your family and your friends are massive cheerleaders, fantastic. If there's somebody there that isn't, or they just glaze over, or there's just, you know, a bit of indifference, then that is what the Happy Side Hustle community is for. We are all on this same journey together. We are all in that environment of creating happiness and joy for ourselves. So when you are out there going, I just need someone who gets this. I need someone to talk to. I need someone to kind of go, what would you do in this situation? That is what the community is here for. And I know a lot of you on here are already in the Happy Hustle Hive, but if you are not, I only open the doors to the Happy Hustle Hive a couple of times a year. I don't know when I'm going to open them up again. I will at some point, but it won't be in the near future. They are open until Friday. If you would like that, so there are approximately just over 100 women in there, all working on their happy side hustles and creating that joyful life for themselves now through the journey and heading towards that joyful destination and side hustle dream at the end. If you want to travel along the motorway with them, then the link is with this video, hpy.tips/hive, and you can check out the offer that is there. Okay, it is just before 8 o'clock. I'm going to have to go because I have got a Zoom call to jump onto now. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you're new to the Happy Hustle Show, I will be back on Thursday. There is a link that you can click and I will text you just before I go live. I never know what time it's going to be. That's the question I get asked all the time. What time is the Happy Hustle? What time is the Happy Hustle Show? The answer is I have no idea, because it'll just be whatever happens in my day and when I can fit it in. So I'm fitting this in just before I go on another call. But you can register if you go into the Happy Hustle community, or if you're in the Hive, it's actually an announcement in there as well. You can click on a link and then I will send you a text just before I go live twice a week. And you don't need to join me, but you will know that I'm going live if you did want to join me live. So have a wonderful Monday evening, everybody. Enjoy, happy hustling, and I will speak to you all on Thursday. Take care. Bye.